This has to be the deadliest catch on the show. What the cameras captured during that storm was so terrifying that it made hardened fishermen shake to their bones. Why did they have to immediately go back to shore? Let's explore one of the weirdest deep ocean creatures no one has ever seen. Dangerous path of False Pass. The boat is heading 260 miles northeast of Dutch Harbor to finish off the king crab season. The captain, Jonathan Hillstrand, seems more upbeat than usual, as this is their fourth outing this season. He's quite pleased with their catch so far, which includes numbers in the 40s and 50s. The whole crew shares his excitement, even though some folks jokingly call them short-timers. If Jonathan can navigate through this final challenge, they'll be on their way home. These guys, each about 45 years old, are seasoned enough to handle whatever the sea throws at them. Soon, they're pulling up their crab pots filled with the crabs they've been chasing, and they even catch a rogue crab trying to escape. All season long, they've been placing their pots in some well-kept spots in the ocean, and it's been paying off big time. Jonathan is particularly happy about one pot that's overflowing with crabs, calling it a sweet spot.
Great looking pot. It's even looking better because I know it's our last trip, and numbers like this mean it's a shorter trip.
Meanwhile, Steven is thrilled about finishing up soon because this big catch means they can head back earlier than planned. Suddenly, their gear gets caught up with another boat's equipment. Mike notices right away, and there's no time to waste figuring out whose gear it is or where the other boat is. They just need to get untangled without damaging their own gear. They manage to avoid a major mess and breathe a sigh of relief because the last thing anyone wants is to dive into freezing water to cut away tangled lines. With only 13 pots left and a storm breathing down their necks, they need to fill up their storage fast. The crew is anxious about what they'll find in the remaining pots. There's always a chance they could be empty. After a long and tiring season at sea, they decide it's time to wrap up. Luckily, it seems fortune is on their side. They finish the season with a couple of pots they didn't get to check, and now they're racing against the storm, trying to get through False Pass, a notoriously narrow and dangerous path. This channel can whip up 30-foot waves that could easily crush their boat, but they have no choice but to push through if they want to get home safely. False Pass itself is a tiny spot on Unimak Island in southwest Alaska, with a small population of 397 people, most of whom are seasonal workers at the local fish plant, though only about 35 people live there year-round. This place was named by early American captains who mistakenly thought their large ships couldn't pass through the northern end of what is now called the Isinotsky Strait.
Times then, if it is a big wave, they're so powerful, dude. They'll blow you across the deck and knock you over.
It officially became a community in 1921 when a post office was established, building on the foundation of a salmon cannery set up a couple of years earlier. In False Pass, fishing is more than just a job. It's what keeps the community ticking. They fish for halibut, salmon, cod, and those expensive crabs. Living on the edge of the Aleutian Islands, right by the Bering Sea, these folks know all too well how fine the line can be between a bumper catch and coming home empty-handed. Did they make their million-dollar goal this season? Only the sea has the answer, and it's not one to share its information lightly. On the ship, now 190 miles northwest of Dutch Harbor, the crew faces off against strong winds and giant waves near the Pribilof Islands. They understand that respecting the ocean is key to surviving out here. Jonathan hopes for smooth sailing as they continue to delve deeper into the fishing grounds. From 180 fathoms to beyond 5,400, his goal is to haul in between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds of crabs, dreaming of hitting that million-dollar mark. Captain Jonathan Hillstrand steers through a 200-mile-wide storm, battling the ocean for a record-breaking 50,000-pound Golden King crab catch in towering 25-foot waves. They finally find the perfect depth and, to their surprise, pull up huge, bright red crabs that add substantial weight to their pots. With storms brewing and their pots nearly full, the time bandits face more challenges. Will the ocean keep rewarding their hard work with plenty of crabs? Hunting Golden King crabs. King crabs are a major part of their catch, known for their large size and tasty meat. These crabs, thought to have evolved from hermit crabs, showcase the incredible adaptability of sea creatures, thriving in the cold depths of the Bering Sea and beyond. These crabs are not only a testament to the diversity of marine life, but also a prized catch that brings significant rewards each season. Crab fishing might sound like an adventurous outing, but it's more akin to a high-risk bet where the dangers are real and the stakes are high. Take horseshoe crabs, also called king crabs, for instance. Their life starts anew each spring when the eggs from the previous year hatch. Before these crabs can mate, they have to shed their old shell in a process called molting. The female crabs then carry the eggs on the outside of their bodies for nearly a year, timing the hatching with the spring's plankton surge, which serves as food for the newborns. These tiny crabs go through several growth stages, transforming from one form to another, gradually taking on the appearance and characteristics of adults. Initially, these younger crabs stick to shallow waters, but as they age, they venture into deeper waters to lay their eggs, only to return to the shallows yearly until their life cycle, which can last up to 30 years, ends. Now, let's look closer at the situation with these crabs.
That ain't gonna do it.
Oh, we got a little bit of bear eye on the table here. Mixed in with smokies. I don't know, it might be hard pressed on this one.
The Alaska Department of Fish and Game might claim that red king crabs are doing okay, but the fuller picture is less optimistic. Many of the crab stocks in Alaska are declining, leading to restrictions or complete halts in fishing to prevent further decline. There are some areas where fishing is still allowed under strict limits to ensure sustainability, but overall, it's clear that Alaska's crab populations are not what they used to be. These crabs naturally go through cycles of boom and bust, heavily influenced by their environment, which means fishing has to be carefully managed to avoid depleting the stocks. Keeping a close watch and adjusting fishing practices based on population changes is key to sustainable management. Back in 2011, this industry hauled in 17 million pounds of red king crabs, worth over $110 million, showing just how valuable this fishery is. Genetic research adds another layer to our understanding of these creatures, revealing that red king crabs and hermit crabs are surprisingly close relatives. This is evident in their asymmetric claws. They use the smaller claw for tearing food and the larger for crushing. Alaska's waters also host other, less common types of king crabs, such as blue, golden, and scarlet. In a fascinating display of natural defense, king crabs gather into what are called pods, stacking on top of each other to form a barrier against predators. These pods can grow quite large, stacking thousands of crabs into towering formations. Focusing on the human element, Captain Jonathan and his crew are continuously chasing the perfect conditions under which king crabs thrive.
Hold under, and then you gotta grab the line, and usually when you pull on it, when it gets tight, it rips their arms off.
It's not just about dropping nets. It's about understanding the ocean's depths and finding the right spots where crabs are likely to be. With costly equipment on the line, each decision to move to a new location is fraught with financial risk. At times, the captain decides to take a gamble on spots where he believes a bounty of crabs can be found, even if it means navigating challenging waters and risking expensive gear. As the captain ventures to a 400-fathom ridge, he's driven by the prospect of striking it rich with golden king crabs. Battling against strong winds and rough seas, the sight of large crabs boosts the crew's morale, affirming the captain's hunch. However, the work is tough, and maintaining safety becomes a critical concern as they maneuver through treacherous conditions. The crew must think strategically, constantly adjusting their plans like players in a complex game of chess, adapting to the unpredictable ocean. With a full load and a storm close behind, the crew must navigate the dangerous passage of False Pass. Their way home is anything but certain. Teamwork in rough seas. On some days, the ocean is generous, rewarding the crew with catches worth nearly $1 million. But not every day is a win. There are times when the nets come up empty or filled with unwanted debris, highlighting the fickle nature of crab fishing. It's a business where huge rewards can be followed by significant losses, mirroring the unpredictability of the ocean itself. The economic aspects of crab fishing are complex. Operating the specialized equipment necessary for catching and processing crabs, such as traps and pots, requires skilled labor, which doesn't come cheap. Moreover, once the crabs are caught, they need to be manually cleaned and processed, adding to the overall cost of production. The scarcity of crabs adds another layer of complication. Unlike some other seafood that can be farmed, crabs are caught wild, which means their availability is dependent on natural populations that can fluctuate with environmental conditions like water temperature and quality. Despite these challenges, the demand for crab meat remains high. Many people consider it a delicacy, and its unique flavor and texture make it highly sought after in the culinary world. This high demand, combined with the expensive and labor-intensive process of catching and preparing the crabs, drives up prices, making crab meat a luxury item on many menus.
Made that up. Why the hell would you skin a cat? I have no idea. Whatever it takes, that's all I'm saying. I can either put a bunch of pots, keep making a pass, set like 4 or 5, make another pass, 4 or 5, or I could just do a spiral string.
The world of crab fishing is fraught with challenges, both natural and economic. Each trip out to sea is a calculated risk, with no guarantee of success, embodying the volatile dance between humans and nature in the pursuit of one of the ocean's most prized delicacies. As their first fishing trip draws to a close, it's time to pack up and head back. Jonathan has a good rapport with Andy and openly shows his appreciation for his company during the trip. Andy, feeling the weight of their adventure, is nearly moved to tears, reflecting on the whole experience. Together, they look back on all that happened, both the good and the tough times, and agree it was a worthwhile adventure. John and his brother Andy had a pretty good run on their first trip. They managed to catch a decent amount of crabs, filling their boat up nicely. When they pulled into King Cove to unload, Jonathan couldn't hide his pride. They had started out later than planned and faced some early setbacks, but they ended up with a massive haul of crabs, weighing over 70,000 pounds, which could sell for around $850,000. Jonathan felt pretty pleased with how he had led the team, especially the younger guys. After this shared trip, John took a flight home, and Andy headed back to the mainland, both feeling satisfied with their efforts. Jonathan stayed back, content with getting everyone home safely and grateful for the help from the brothers. Crab fishing is known for being a tough and risky job, not just because of the physical labor, but also because of the unpredictable ocean conditions. At the start of this episode, Jared tries to boost the crew's spirit by emphasizing teamwork, reminding them that no one can handle everything alone and that they need to work together. Soon after his pep talk, a disagreement breaks out among the crew, and Jonathan steps in to try and smooth things over.
Man, that's a whole table full.
Wow! Yeah, let's get a count on that.
Meanwhile, in the ship's control room, Jonathan finds out they're approaching icy waters and urges everyone to collect as many crabs as they can while conditions allow. Their hard work pays off, and they haul in a huge catch that leaves everyone excited. But the ocean can change quickly, and they know they have to be ready for anything. They prepare for another fishing attempt, hoping their luck will continue. Sea ice forms when the ocean water freezes. This ice is less dense than the salt water below, which is why it floats. It covers a significant part of the Earth's polar regions and plays a crucial role in the local ecosystems. But navigating through ice-filled waters is very challenging. Icebergs and floating ice can trap a ship, making it difficult to move through. The ice also changes a lot because of the wind and water currents, making it even trickier to navigate. Having just squeezed through False Pass, the crew now confronts the added danger of sea ice. They must adjust quickly to stay safe and keep fishing with fast-moving ice. As the ship approaches a vast expanse of sea ice, Jonathan receives a sudden update that the ice is moving in much faster than they had anticipated. Even though they were advised to reduce their speed, by now it's too late to change course. Despite this, the crew decides to continue fishing, but almost immediately they run into trouble when their fishing gear gets jammed. Freddie jumps into action, trying to untangle the tangled mess of nets and ropes, when suddenly, a huge wave slams into the ship. This unexpected jolt throws everyone off balance and causes a wave of panic to sweep through the crew. Jonathan steps up, taking control of the situation and calming everyone down. He manages to keep the fishing operations going despite the chaos. After some intense efforts, the crew manages to free the gear and gets back to fishing. Much to their relief, they haul in a big catch once again. This success lifts everyone's mood and brings a sense of hope. They all start to feel a bit better, thinking maybe they can keep up their good luck. Now they just have to wait and see if the ice stays back long enough for them to continue their work without any more interruptions. Elsewhere on the ocean, Captain Sig and his crew are playing a risky game by using a strategy known as corking. They're trying to attract crabs from another crew's heavily baited pots to their own. Sig is very competitive and makes it clear he's out to get the biggest catch, even if it means using sneaky tactics. He hopes these maneuvers won't ruin their friendships with the other crew, but it's a gamble. The atmosphere is tense as both teams try to outdo each other, each hoping to come out on top without causing too much strife.
35. Oh, what the hell?
In the far northwest, the captains of the Time Bandits and Northwestern set their sights on crab pots, hoping they're filled with a large haul of seafood. The Northwestern team pulls up a big golden king crab first, motivating the Time Bandits to start their harvest. They managed to catch 90 red king crabs right off the bat. However, their next few tries are less successful, bringing in only 3 crabs at a time, adding up to just 25 in 3 attempts. Despite the drop in numbers, the crew is still thrilled about their strong start. The red king crab, a giant of the crab family, is found in the cold northern waters of the Pacific Ocean, from the Bering Sea to the Gulf of Alaska. This species is also known as the Kamchatka crab or Alaskan king crab. It's a popular target for fisheries due to its size, which can include a leg span up to 5.9 feet and a weight up to 28 pounds, although today's crabs rarely grow beyond 6 inches in shell width. The average male crab caught in the Bering Sea these days weighs about 6.4 pounds. Named for the red color it turns when cooked, the crab is naturally a burgundy color when alive. As the episode unfolds, the 4th attempt by the Time Bandits to capture more crabs comes up empty due to a misaligned cage door quickly noticed and fixed. Their 5th try also fails, leading to some concerns on the Time Bandits' boat. Andy suspects foul play, especially since these issues popped up right when Captain Sig of the Northwestern was making his moves nearby. Andy reaches out to the Northwestern, pointing out the unusual way the pot doors were tied, different from how they always do it.
But the weather's it's not letting up again today. It's be again today. I'm sorry they're getting wet. But I could conceivably do this. If we get through this today, no breakdowns, be it people, machinery, I'm gonna go for it.
Captain Sig assures them he hasn't interfered with their pots. Jonathan feels upset, sensing that their gear might have been tampered with. With no one visible on their radar and no proof of interference, it's a frustrating situation. Starting the season with such problems is not ideal, and as things unfold, Captain Sig begins to worry that his team might soon face similar issues. The story highlights the challenging and competitive nature of crab fishing, where teams not only battle the harsh conditions of the sea, but also the intense competition from other fishermen. This fierce rivalry can sometimes lead to tensions and suspicions, overshadowing the usual teamwork found among those who make their living on the water. As the demand for these crabs remains high, the pressure to secure a good catch can lead to a mix of strategy and skepticism among the crews. Could the Time Bandits be pushing their luck too far this season? Or is their daring strategy what separates the real fishermen from the rest? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping tales from the high seas.